Welcome back to the news, where we do have good news. As much as I would like to be playing New World in August, that is not going to happen because the game, once more, has been delayed. But I think, as games that come out too early tell us, delays are a good thing, even if they feel bad. So here's the statement that Amazon released, and for the context here, they just had their open beta. A lot of people played their open beta. It did extremely well. So let's dive into what they actually said, why they've chosen to delay this game once more. We are humbled by the support New World received from players around the world throughout closed beta. During beta, more than 1 million adventurers played more than 16 million total hours. Thanks to your support, New World became one of the most watched games on Twitch, one of the most played games on Steam. Now, a big thing there that I just call out is, yeah, it was a closed beta, so, you have to hope you get a key, just that you could also buy it on Steam and get a beta key. That's what I did, and I have to imagine they have sold a lot of copies of this game based on that number of more than 1 million adventurers. I'm not saying that half of those are purchases or whatever, but I imagine a lot are, because New World was the buzz, and you could just drop 40 quid in Steam and get it. They go on to say, the passion and enthusiasm that people have shown validates the work they've put in over the last year, improving the game based on feedback. That's, of course, feedback from the previous betas and alphas. Along the way, you've also given us a ton of feedback that we'll use to make New World even better. We want New World's launch to be a smooth and fun experience for all players, and that means making some improvements based on what you encounter during closed beta. So we're going to take a few extra weeks to smash bugs, improve stability, and polish the game. New World's new global launch date is September 28th, 2021. They say it's not an easy decision to make, that they know it's not the first time they've changed their launch date in the pursuit of quality, and that it can be disappointing to wait, but they say it's all about, of course, the highest quality game at launch. This definitely is the right move. To be honest with you, if there was a few more months there, I would be a little bit sad, but I also would support it. I've played up to, I'm level 12, but it's that thing in New World, you hit level 10 super quick, and then as you go and sort of work out what you want to do with your character and explore the world and stuff, you do level up a bit more slowly than if you're just kind of trying to grind the XP out. But yeah, I got a decent few hours in at the start, certainly enough that I can talk about my first impressions anyway. And yeah, those first impressions have me definitely wanting a delay. Not because I played the game and thought, wow, this sucks, they definitely need way more time, but because I kind of liked it and I want it to launch in a good state. Now, you've also played a bit of it, Matt. What do you think?
I think that, I didn't play enough to be able to tell if it really needs a delay or not, but I definitely think that it can only benefit.
Yes.
Mostly. There's something I'll get into a bit later, which may make this be a worse idea than you would immediately think, but I definitely think that there's just a couple of things about the how the combat functions with the netcode that I feel literally a couple of employees, couple weeks, optimize as much as possible, and you've got a way better game across the entire thing. Even some things I'm trying to remember if there's anything particular. Just a couple things how long gathering and looting takes sometimes can feel a little bit like a start-stop in your experience. So it's
do you mean the actual time of gathering and looting, or do you mean server responsiveness?
I actually mean the actual time.
So that is something that gets faster as you level.
Okay.
So your crafting, your wood cutting time, as you level up and you get better shit, that will go down, and you'll be able to cut down, say, harder to cut down trees, but the initial trees will cut down real fast. I believe, anyway.
Yeah, no, it's just, I guess it's more a lot of those little things, the more that they can tweak those to get the experience actually good, especially because this is I don't want to say it's a unique kind of experience as an MMO, because so many games have that third person action thing going on, but it's the closer they can get to perfect at launch for those first couple hours, the better, I think.
Yeah, I think for me it's primarily, now I don't know exactly what bugs and stability and polish they're thinking of here. For me, it's primarily the minutia of combat. Especially when I use the rapier. If you use the rapier during the close testing, you probably know as well, especially with the light attacks, you do your 2 swipes and then the 3 quick follow-ups. But there's just something about the responsiveness of that, and especially using the dodge ability, where when you're fighting an NPC, it just feels sloppy. It's hard to put into words. There's times whenever enemies are running at me and like some of their pathfinding just feels a little bit jerky. Their movement feels a little bit unnatural. And there's just times where you feel like, yeah, I'm playing this action combat system and it's clearly an MMO. Not maybe for the best reasons. Which is a pity, because I think that while the combat system is not great, I think it is serviceable and does come together with everything else to be more than the sum of its parts. Like, I don't think it's the best combat system ever at all, but I'm also I was quite enjoying just leveling up a weapon, getting some new stuff, because it's an MMO RPG, and those things are more than the sum of their parts whenever one of those games is well crafted and constructed. And I have got that as my first impression, that this is a game that is more than the sum of its parts. The individual parts are not always perfect. And I think that generally means you've got a situation where, well, it's a game that will really benefit a lot from polish. I mean, if you take an Anthem, there's no amount of polishing Anthem that is going to make Anthem a good game, because the basics of its design are less than the sum of their parts, right? But with something like this, there is that true potential. Now, I'm not 100% sure about, say, endgame-related concerns. I have seen some people say there's not really enough content there. For me, I'm happy enough to just go into this game, dabble, have some fun, get into a little bit of the territorial stuff, and just sort of take it as it comes. So that's not too much of a concern for me. I'm certainly interested based on what I've played. But yeah, if there is ever a game to benefit from just loads of polish passes and getting the little bits of the minutiae right, it's this one.
It's actually one other thing that I think might actually be, like, I feel like the minutiae of that is really important, but also I think that them launching correctly is probably going to be one of the most important things.
Yeah.
Because you know how, like, in a lot of games, if a server is wrecked at launch, if they clearly don't have the capacity, you get a big queue, you get some game crashes, but nothing's really super huge outside of, I can't play, I can't log in. And that feels terrible. But that is substantially better than in an MMO where you experience severe instability or any amount of like progress rollbacks from server crashes.
Yeah.
Anything like that. So while I think they handled the closed beta fairly okay, I don't remember there being too much noise around problems there. I feel like if they can make sure none of that happens, none of that goes wrong, because I feel like they want their launch to be as smooth as humanly possible, because it is Amazon.
Yeah.
It's Amazon Game Studios. They have not done anything right yet.
Yeah.
This is their first chance, and it's an MMO, so it's a big chance.
And I feel like the closed beta was a godsend for them.
Yeah.
It seems like this did better than they thought.
Certainly.
And I think a part of that is a similar reason to why FF14 is doing really well right now. That is, World of Warcraft has not been doing super well. A bunch of the WoW audience are more interested in looking around other places. The reason why I was playing New World is on Allcraft. Asmongold and Rich convinced me that I should really give it a go. So I did. I had fun. Now I intend to play it. Of course, I think for Rich, the WoW ship had sailed a bit longer ago. But, for Asmongold, right? Like, I know he's not quit the game or anything like that. I saw recent stats, of like whatever the time period was. He was like the #1 most watched person on Twitch, right? So there's obviously a lot of sway and influence there. And that just means if Blizzard does enough to lose him, and then he's got a stream of however many, in some cases over 100,000 people, and they're all looking at New World. New World it hit that closed beta in the right environment. I think to the point where they got the mother of all stress tests. And I just think that's incredible. They clearly have decided they need to do this for the launch to be what they want it to be. And I think that just means that something was probably uncovered where they thought that, okay, maybe we need to increase our expectations for this game. I think this is all good. There's not too much more to get into here. No. It is a bit weird being like, I wish Amazon the best. Love him. But I mean, like we're consumers of MMOs. I want a good MMO. This one looks promising, and I hope that this delay gives the team what they need.
Yeah, I mean, also, like, to kind of look at the Amazon thing, it's like, I'm not going to say I love supporting Amazon as a company. They're so great. They're, you know, everyone knows what they get up to. Everyone knows what they do. But they're a large enough company that there are subsections you can kind of look at and go, well, you know, you have to support someone somewhere along the chain. And I feel like these game developers at Seattle and the Orange County places, they've had nothing but losses. And so much of that seems to be from Amazon themselves. Because all of the news stories that broke however many months ago, maybe over a year now, of like mismanagement from the upper echelons of that company that caused the problems. Now, can they actually get a win? And can that mean that this highly invested games company can get a win, secure some form of victory so they can go on and make other games?
Yeah, that's true. Like if New World is a success, it establishes Amazon as a real player. They haven't felt like a real player yet because there's just been, we have the Lumberyard engine, which is like a licensed Cry engine. They've had that. They've had the Grand Tour game. They've had a bunch of failures. Nobody's taken them seriously. So, I mean, I wonder, like, is the most played thing that's related to Amazon Game Studios actually the Star Citizen Alpha? Because it's running in Lumberyard, which is just to show, like, how little their own things have done. So look, more competition in the market of games is a good thing. Hopefully New World kicks something off, and along with FF14, perhaps Ashes of Creation eventually, gets the MMO space actually fighting fit. There's been a lot of languishing in success. It's time for that to not happen anymore. And as people who play MMOs, that's good news.
Absolutely.
Good news. So, yeah, New World. I guess I'll see you there a month later than I expected, but we'll be there. So, yeah, take care. Let me know what you're planning on doing with New World, if you even checked it out, and did you have your 3090 explode, if you were lucky enough to have a 3090? And with that, see you next time.